Businesses all across the planet are looking to make connections with people. Well, guess what? Divine Connections magazine is helping businesses not only walk in their purpose and passions, but to get connected to their potential. That's right. You've got to connect to your potential, and you can make it happen now because it is time to know your worth. As you get connected to people all across the planet, Divine Connections magazine will make it happen. And get featured in the magazine today and get your copy now, because there's no other time than a divine time to get connected to Divine Connections magazine.
Terrell Goodman is the CEO of TS&F Consultant and Management LLC, a veteran-owned and operated family business that offers professional services for veterans. This company operates with a group of associate members with an average of 38 years of hands-on experience in their respective professions. They are committed to the highest principles, standards, and values to assure each client's success. To find out more, contact TS&F Consultant and Management LLC today. Just call 877-365-0817, extension 104.
Great day, everyone. This is Dolores Williams with Divine Connections Magazine. Divine Connections Magazine is a faith-based and inspirational magazine that comes out quarterly in print as well as online. So if you're looking to have your business or your ministry and give them exposure, we would love for you to be a part. And I'm working on the next issue now. And so you can email me at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com to be a part. We have half page and full page opportunities as well. So let's get into a little bit of what's going on with Divine Connections. One, how can you stay connected? Okay, so you can stay connected with our website at divineconnectionsmagazine.com for updates and news. For Facebook, we have Divine Connections Marketing, like that page. On Instagram, we have Divine Connections, one word. And then you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Divine Connections, and also click that notification button as well to stay connected. Awesome. So as I said, the magazine comes out quarterly in print as well as online. This is our current issue right now. So if you would like to get a copy, you can go to divineconnectionsmagazine.com/subscriptions. Okay, we have gospel artists, entrepreneurs, events, great things that's going on in the community. And so vendor opportunity is available. Saturday, September 11th, I'm going to have gospel groups, praise dance, mimes. My MC is going to be Miss Mary Eubanks. We're going to have a special group from Detroit, Michigan, and we have great other gospel groups and praise dance and mimes that's going to be a part of that. So you want to make sure you be a part. So I have 6 more spots to vend. If you're interested, make sure you text 336-338-8903. Next on our Divine Connection News, if you have a business or a ministry or a book, or are you a gospel group and you need a 30-second or a 60-second commercial, we do those as well. As you saw some of the commercials that came on earlier. If you need a commercial, make sure you email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com. If you would like to be a sponsor for the show, that means your sponsorship or your video will go on before or after the show, and it will run for 3 months. If you would like to do that and get a spot, you can email me at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com for more information as well. All right, next on our agenda, again, the event is on the way, and you can go ahead and get your tickets, and I would suggest you do that now. It's only $12, and so you can go to divineconnectionsmagazine.com/events, and this is going to be in Haw River, North Carolina at Beyond Measure Ministries. It's a phenomenal place. I've had it the last 4 years, and it's been great. I would love to meet you there. All right, so come on and get your tickets. It's only $12. Awesome. And so with all that said, we have some great information for you today. Make sure you like and share as well. But first, let me do an introduction to my guest that will be on today, and he's going to be talking about finances. All right, help us get some money and grow some money as well. So let's hear what he has to say.
Hi, I'm Ace Cortez, also known as the one and only financial health mentor. And for the last 6 years, I've been on a mission to empower our community economically through financial literacy with an emphasis on entrepreneurship and personal brand development. I put together a generational wealth masterclass, and all you got to do is go to myperfectmoneyplan.com. That masterclass will show you where to go and what to look for to get double-digit returns on your money. And if you know anything about the rule of 72, the higher the return, the faster your money doubles. So imagine getting 12 to 16%, and your money is doubling every 4 to 5 years. That's what you're going to learn in the Generational Wealth Masterclass. So go to myperfectmoneyplan.com, and I hope to see you on the inside.
Awesome, awesome. Will you help me welcome Miss Cortez Springer is in the house. How are
Hey,
you?
I am doing well, Dolores. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. This is the money man. He's going to show us how to grow
Right.
that money and invest. So welcome first of all, and tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Dolores, for having me. Super excited to be here on the Divine Connection show. And I do believe in divine connections, and I believe this is one of them. So, hey, but a little bit about me. I am H. Cortez, as you stated. Financial health mentor is the brand, and I am the fourth born of 6 children, raised by a single mom on welfare. Actually was born in Tupelo, Mississippi, but raised here in St. Louis, Missouri, through adulthood, and that's where I currently reside. And basically a man who's trying to figure this thing out to make sure that the next generation of Springers aren't as bad off as this present generation. So I started studying wealthy people and start reading books and getting around the right folks. And luckily for me, I was able to have someone take me under their wing and kind of start coaching me and teaching me the rules of the wealthy. And I just found it in my spirit that this is something that everybody should share. And I'm not ashamed of sharing the information as I build. So I started teaching what I was learning, and it's been a huge success to date. I've helped over 400 families start their own home-based business and get on the path to building generational wealth. And I'm just wanting to continue on that journey.
Wonderful. I love that. I love that. So in so many words, you have been intentional, you have learned yourself, and then you turned around and taught others to do the same. That is phenomenal. So let's talk about some strategies. Let's get into it. Give us some strategies on how to get money and then how to take that money and grow money.
Yeah, I think when it comes to building wealth, the first thing we have to understand the things that are keeping us from it, right? There's 4 primary players that's keeping you from building wealth, and it is all by design. I want your audience to know that we are literally broke by design because poverty is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And yes, I said industry. It's poverty. You can look at poverty like a product, right? They know how to slang it and they know how to keep us in it. So what are those 4 entities that are keeping us struggling financially? Number 1 is taxes, right? Don't get me wrong. I love driving on smooth roads. I love that my kids were able to go to a decent public school at no charge. So I know taxes pay all of that. But I do also know that if you understand the tax code, there's a way to legally, ethically, and morally lower your taxes. Then there is debt. Debt is caused by taxes. If you're losing 40 cents out of every dollar, you almost have no choice but to go borrow money, finance your big purchases like cars and homes. And some of us are even using credit cards. And especially during the pandemic, for a lot of us, that was all we had to rely on. So now we're in debt. But then it doesn't stop there. You got inflation. Our economy, according to Grant Cardone, he said 1 out of every $5 in circulation right now was produced during the pandemic. So what does that mean? If in the last 18 months, they pumped $5 trillion into the economy, that means the money that was currently in the economy is worth a lot less. So our buying power is going down. I remember when I went back to Tupelo, Mississippi as a kid for the first time, right? And in Mississippi, you have what's called town. That's where you have your Walmart is. If you don't know anything about the South, you go in the town, that's what a Walmart is, and you do your shopping. I was from a small community called Nettleton. So they was like, hey, we're going into town. I was like, what do you mean? I just came out of town to come here. They're like, no, we're going into town. And we got into town, and the first time I saw a Walmart, and they had a vending machine outside, and I can get a name brand soda for 25 cents. I can get an off-brand or a store brand soda for 15 cents. Well, what's changed today? The quarter is still 25 cents, but I can't go get a soda for 25 cents today.
Oh, no.
Inflation. So we got to contend with that. And then you have big business. Big business understands one thing very fundamentally well, is that most working class people feel like they only work just to pay bills. That's why there's a holiday strategically placed every month of the year, because they want to give you something to celebrate. And how do we celebrate? We celebrate by spending money. Why? Because spending money makes us feel good. Especially when I look at my check, it's 40 cents lighter because of Uncle Sam. I paid my debts. It's even lighter because I had to pay for my car. I had to pay for my house. I had to pay the credit card bills. Then I look at $1 can't buy a loaf of bread like it could 5 years ago. And I'm frustrated. So what do? I go to the store and I go shopping with whatever I got left, right?
Yeah.
So when you have all of those four things working against you, you get to the biggest problem with generational wealth, and that is a lack of asset accumulation. Well, we don't have nothing left to buy any assets with.
Okay.
Therefore, every generation is having to start over every single life cycle, and we've got to break those patterns. And believe it or not, the number one weapon against the war on poverty for working Americans is a home-based business.
I love it. I love it. So tell people how they can start a home-based business.
Well, I'm glad you asked, and we're sitting here on the divine connection, right? And that's significant because what I know about the book that I read, it tells me that my gift is supposed to make room for me, not just anywhere, but at the top, and bring me before great men. But here's the problem, Dolores. Most of us have never learned how to truly leverage our gift and turn it into income. See, I believe this way. God gave us all passions, right? There are some things that you are just passionate about. You don't know when you became passionate about them. You can't say why you're passionate about it. You just absolutely are on fire about this thing. Well, I'll tell you why I believe you're passionate about it. Because your passion is designed to lead you to your purpose.
Come on, sir.
But here's how you have to look at that in a monetary situation. In order for me to stick with my passion long enough, I've got to figure out how to make that passion feed me. Otherwise, if I don't figure out how to make my passion pay me, I'm going to go chasing a dollar doing something I don't like, getting up going to a job that I don't like, getting up going to work with people I don't like, bringing home a salary or a paycheck that I don't like, right?
Come on, sir.
And what that does is it gets me further and further away from my passion. Now, if my theory is correct and your passion is designed to lead you to your purpose, and you never learn how to turn your passion into income, you go and do something else to make money that pulls you further away from your passion. When do you ever discover your purpose?
That's right.
And here's the thing about the purpose. The God I serve didn't tell me, son, I've got a mission for you. I created you for a specific reason. Oh, and by the way, when you're doing what I created you to do, you got to figure out how to feed, clothe, and house yourself. That's not how it works.
Right.
What your purpose is, there also is your provision. But if we never walked in our passion and learn how to turn that into money that keeps us in that thing long enough to discover our purpose, then we don't believe that there's provision in what God has called us to do. And therefore, we're doing everything but that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Passion, purpose, and provision.
That's it. That's it. If you can make money from your passion, you'll stick with that passion long enough to develop and understand your purpose. And when you start walking in that thing that God created for you, man, what they say, goodness and mercy
Follow
will
it.
follow me
Come on, sir.
all the days of my life.
All the days.
But if I never get to that purpose point, then I never get to a place where goodness and mercy is chasing me down.
Absolutely. You know, and the thing is, I know I have worked and I enjoy work and I love what I do. But when the pandemic hit, it was like time for a shifting. Like I felt God was like, okay, now let's do this full time, what you're doing with Divine Connection, because I was working part time and I was doing Divine Connections, you know, part time as well. So when the shift came in the pandemic and I couldn't work, I still had my divine connection. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then I could do more of divine connections, meeting even more people, connected with even more people, and you know, continue from there. And so I, you know, I'm grateful. And even though I grew up and you know, with the tradition of you got to go to school, you got to get an education, then you got to go to work. But then, you know, once you finish paying taxes and you don't have a lot left. You
That's
know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, oh, I felt like when I was in school before I went to Salem State and graduated with no debt. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, debt and loans, all of that, it's a setup. How you gonna live after that? You know. And
Right.
then at 27, I was able to purchase my own home. You know, and it was just like I'm so, you know, my mindset is I'm not going to pay for college because the money is there. I'll go ahead and get an education. You know what I'm saying? And then I worked, of course, up until 42, and I'm 40. Well, no, I'll say 41 because that was last year. And I'm 42 now, but I am open to the opportunity of thank you, God, for that experience. But I really want to focus on my purpose and my passion to make my provision because time is precious. There's a lot of people that in the grave and they didn't get to live out all of their what God has for them. So there's a lot of ideas and businesses in the grave. And so we don't have but a short period of time here on this earth. And so, you know, right now I do feel like I'm in the mode of the purpose and the passion and provision, and God will make a way. So I love
that's right. I love that. I love that. And here's the thing. While I would never dump on education, right? I will always have an issue with our educational system, right? Because the system is just the means in which information is being transferred. So if that's all the system is, the mechanism in which information is transferred, now I have to go and ask myself what information is being transferred, and is that information valid and viable today? And the answer is a resounding no. And here's why. If you follow the money, then you'll know who funds and finances our school system. Our school system is funded and financed by the government and big business. All right. So we're following the money now. Well, if I have to follow the money, I have to look at, well, where does the government and big business get its money from? Okay. The government gets its money from taxing employees. Big business gets its money from leveraging the labor of employees. So you got the two entities that finance the educational system. What do you think those two entities are going to tell the school system to create for it? Employees, because that's where their bread is buttered. Now, here's what's funny. They taught us that entrepreneurship is risky. They taught us that investing is risky. You got to be careful. You're going to lose your shirt. All the things that will create independence in us. But at the same time, they was teaching us, Dolores, that entrepreneurship was risky. They was also teaching us how to ask an entrepreneur for a job. Case in point, here's how you fill out an application properly. Here's how you conduct yourself on an interview. Here's what a proper resume and cover letter look like. What is that? That is you asking an entrepreneur for a job, because entrepreneurs create the jobs, not the government. It's the entrepreneurs. So why didn't y'all just teach me about entrepreneurship to begin with?
Exactly.
That would have helped, right? That would have helped a little bit. And I know a lot of people, Dolores, will say, everybody can't run a business. And I will look you right in your eye and say, that is a big fat lie. You know why? Because all of the skills required to run a business are learnable.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a debate whether or not leadership is you're born a leader or you're trained to be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so say you're not born a natural born leader,
Right.
but everything else that's required to run a business is a learnable skill set. The other big objection I get when I talk about entrepreneurship and turning your passions into profit, people will say, well, Cortez, I can't afford that, right? I don't have the money. And I also know where that comes from. That comes from the media making you believe that you got to go get a loan to get in a business. Well, we got two wonderful inventions, Dolores, that allows us to start a business for $0. There's this thing that was invented roughly 25 years ago called the internet.
Yep.
It literally puts us in touch with the entire world.
Okay.
And then on top of that thing called the internet, there was another device created called a cell phone that lives on that system that allows us to touch the entire world. And if we want to get to the marketing and the advertising side, there is a platform that lives on that device known as social media that you can access for free.
Yep.
So anybody who wants to start a business could start a business 100% for free today. At the very most, they might have to spend 99 cents for a domain if they want a website. Then you can go to a free website platform like Wix or Weebly, or you can use the Digital Empire system that I use, starting for $1, right? Then they can go to their Secretary of State and register their fictitious name for $7 to $10 in most states across the country. So you got a website, a domain name, and you registered your business name with the Secretary of State that says, hey, I am now doing business as the Divine Connection. And it costs you less than $25. Now, here's what people don't know about when they start that business, especially in conjunction with a job. I tell everybody, don't quit your job. Let your job be your primary funding source for your business.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing about having a business and a job. You got a consistent paycheck when you have your job. But the moment you start a business, Dolores, you march right into your HR department and say, hey, I need access to my tax withholding certificate. That's the form that you filled out when you first got hired on your job, and it tells your employer how much taxes to withhold out of your paycheck.
Right.
Well, now that I own a business, I get to pay taxes like a business, meaning they take less taxes out of my job, out of my paycheck when I fill that form out correctly. The IRS says the average is about $300 to $600 per month that a person can increase their take-home pay on their job if they started a business that they ran from their home. So you mean to tell me you ain't got no money, but if you started a business, your paycheck increases on average $300 to $600 per month. Now it's a matter of you being disciplined. You take that $300 to $600 a month and you use that to eliminate your debt, starting with your credit card debt.
Yes.
Especially if it's high interest. Why? Because you get double the bang for your buck. If I pay my credit cards down, not only does my cash flow increase, because once I pay a card off, that money comes back into my household.
Right.
But because your credit score is 30% utilization, it's also going to increase your credit score when you start paying those debts down. Now I got a $300 to $600 per month increase because I started a business. Dolores, we ain't sold no products yet. We ain't made no money in the business yet. This is all from strategy. My paycheck went up $300 to $600. I used that money to start paying down some debt. Say I had a credit card that was $100 a month and I had one that's $50 a month. Well, I pay those things off. Now I'm up another $150 per month. What happens if I roll all of that over to my car note?
Come on.
Boom. Now the car note is paid off and I'm up another $300 or $400 per month. And remember I told you that the biggest problem that we have from a generational standpoint is we're not accumulating any assets because we don't have the cash flow. You started a business, ain't sold nan product yet, but just from strategy, just freed up $600 to $1,000 per month. What would it look like if you invested half of that every month for the rest of your life? What would you have for your children? That's the game plan that nobody is teaching working Americans, but a few people. I know Dr. Lan Richardson is teaching this heavily. I also know that CPA and tax attorney Sandy Botkin is also teaching this. But outside of that, we don't hear a whole lot of people talking about why a home-based business makes such a great idea for working Americans.
Right. Yeah, I love it because I know I've been working since I was 16. And so until last year when the pandemic happened, you know, that was my primary job. But at the same time, I was working on Divine Connections, building that. And so now I kind of transitioned and shift with, you know, the pandemic going on. So definitely, you know, make it step by step. Like you said, strategize, have a plan and work your plan for sure.
That's right. That's right.
Sure. Awesome. You have great information. Love it. Let's go with some information on how people can get connected with you and connect with your platforms as well.
Absolutely. I have the Generational Wealth Masterclass, Dolores, and it is designed to help those who want to start building generational wealth, but they don't know where to start. I literally walk them through the process of what it looks like to know where to go and what to look for to get double-digit returns on their money. Now, I'm not a licensed financial planner or investor. I'm an educator. So I can't take your money and invest it for you. I can't tell you where to invest your money. But what I can do is show you where to look and what to look for now when you go talk to that licensed professional. You can say, hey, man, I learned a strategy where I should be getting 16% return on this investment. And if they're not giving it to you, then the Generational Wealth Masterclass will teach you how to set up the account yourself, and you can start moving money yourself and getting those great returns. Because what most people don't understand about the banking system is banks do two things. They buy currency and they sell debt. That's all they do. But what we don't realize is who they buy currency from. Dolores, every time you hear the word interest, there's a loan involved.
Right.
When you set up your bank account, your checking or your savings, is the word interest in there?
Nope.
So that means there's a loan, right? Now, the interest is tiny, but there's a loan. So now that I know that there's a loan involved because there's interest involved, I got to ask myself, who's the lender and who's the borrower? Well, guess what? You're the lender, and they're borrowing your money for less than 1% that they're giving you on your savings account. Then they got the audacity, Dolores, to turn around and sell you debt back. But guess what? They ain't selling you that debt for less than 1%.
Okay.
They are selling you that debt at 5%, 8%. If it's a credit card, 18, 27%. Right?
Yep.
And then you got to jump through a million hoops just to qualify.
Right.
It's all gold money. But they borrow your money all day, every day, and you don't ask any questions about it. So that's what I love to do, Dolores, is help educate people on these strategies, get their mind churning, and don't let this be the end all be all. This should just be the starting point that makes you say, let me go research the tax benefits of a home-based business. Let me go research different funds that pay double-digit returns. Let me go research how to get out of credit card debt, how to fix my credit, and some of those things. And you learn and you grow. But do me this huge favor. As you learn and you grow, pay it forward, guys. We can no longer afford to hoard information. And that's why I do what I do, Dolores. There's wealthy people all over the place who know this stuff and been executing it for years. They just ain't telling no doggone body.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
So I decided that as I learn, I'm going to execute. And while I'm executing at the same time, I'm going to be sharing what I'm learning on this journey.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Wonderful. Wonderful. You guys, make sure you stay connected with him. Check out his website and all of his social media platforms. So you're on Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, YouTube. Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, all at Financial Health Mentor.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is some great information. So take heed, connect with him, and leave us with a word of encouragement.
Since we're talking about money and we're talking about passions and we're talking about wealth, understand this. Wealthy people simply do one thing, and they do it well. They find one or two ways to get paid for one or two things that they already love to do. Then they simply build a brand and a system around it, and that's how they build wealth and don't look stressed out along the way because they're doing something they love to do.
I love it. So find your passion, find your purpose, and you'll get your provision.
That's
Amen.
right.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Cortez Springer. You guys make sure you stay connected. He has a wealth of information to continue to share with him. So definitely connect with him on the social media platforms, as well as go to his website. So thank you so much, Cortez, for coming on today. Anything else you want to share before we leave?
Just thank you so much for having me, Dolores. This information has got to get out there. And for us kingdom builders, we got to wrap our mind around the fact that it is God who gave us the ability to gain wealth.
Yes, sir.
So we can establish his covenant. Never forget that when people are telling you that you shouldn't be going after wealth, you shouldn't be trying to be uber successful. That's why he gave us the gift, right? So that we can use that to bring glory to his kingdom.
Amen and amen to that. Definitely. So we are here to bring glory to the kingdom. So this is Mr. Cortez Springer. I am Dolores Williams with Divine Connections. Make sure you stay connected to the number one Divine Connector, and you hold tight, Mr. Springer, and we're going to turn it over to our sponsors today. And thank you for coming and being my guest. You guys make sure you like and share this podcast and get the information out. All right, hold tight. Thank you.
Terrell Goodman is the CEO of TS&F Consultant and Management, LLC, a veteran-owned and operated family business that offers professional services for veterans. This company operates with a group of associate members with an average of 38 years of hands-on experience in their respective professions. They are committed to the highest principles, standards, and values to assure each client's success. To find out more, contact TS&F Consultant and Management, LLC today. Just call 877-365-0817, extension 104.
Awesome. Okay.
Hey, we've got exciting news from Divine Connections Marketing Services. Now you can create your own custom video commercial for your business or organization. It's time for you to win. Your product or service is someone's solution, so get the attention of your potential customers now. Choose from a 30 or 60-second commercial today. Just email us at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com and we can get started. Connect today and let's get started making your custom video commercial now. Divine Connections Magazine. Get major exposure for your business. Is someone looking for your service? Do you need networking? Are you a gospel artist or a ministry? Do you have a major event that you want to promote? Divine Connections Magazine has the solution for you. We can distribute to residents, businesses, churches, and online. Don't miss this opportunity to expand your marketing locally and around the world. Find out more about us at divineconnectionsmagazine.com. Get your spot in the next issue of Divine Connections Magazine by emailing us for details at divineconnectionsmagazine@gmail.com.
Make sure to like us on Facebook at Divine Connections Marketing. Follow us on Instagram at Divine Connections.
Let's get it started